me a break, man. Give me a break, man. Let's watch.
Hey Internet, this is lesson number 5 in a series of endless videos made to teach you Japanese from scratch. I'm assuming you don't know anything. If you do write a comment to me, I will answer it. I have another channel called Give Me a Flake Man, on which I do long, boring videos answering all your questions. So I just put up the third answer video, and it's like 35 minutes long. So if you're really interested in picking up language, I don't think 35 minutes is that long to pick up a language, so go over to Give Me a Flake Man and watch those videos and sub to that channel if you like. Again, I'm doing videos on Action Teacher, which is actually an ESL site, an ESL channel on YouTube here. And I try to make those videos in such a way that if you know some Japanese, you will, or a little Japanese, you'll be able to pick up some more Japanese from those videos, but they're actually made for Japanese people trying to pick up English. So anyway, let's go on with today's lesson. Today we're going to talk about the question words. And the first one, of course, is nani. Nani, which is what. The first one is what, right? What is what, right? What. And as you can see here, we have the Romaji, the alphabet, the pronunciation, nani. This is the hiragana, nani. This is the kanji, stolen from the Chinese, nani. And we have 3 example sentences, the most common examples. Of course, nani as a question alone is fine. Nani? What? Nani? Nani, nani? And you often hear young girls say, nani, 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 what, kind of thing, right? Kore wa nani? Kore wa nani? What is this? Kore wa nani? Kore wa, this, what is this? Kore wa nani? Ah, sore wa nani? Sore wa nani? Ah, sore wa tengu desu. What is that? So sore is that. Kore is this. This, that. Are, the third in this list here you see in front of you. Are is something far away from both the speaker and the listener. So you're over there, I'm over here. What is that over there? Are wa nani? Are, that. You often hear a lot of things repeated in Japanese, like are, kore, this. Sore, that. I guess something you're holding would be sore. So the tengu is not a good example because tengu is actually are, right? It's kind of away from you and me. Something you're holding in your hand would be sore. Sore wa nani? Sore wa nani? And kore, right? So we have 3. Kore, sore, and are, right? Nani. What is this? What is that? And what is that? Okay, let's go on to the next one. The next one. Now notice that nani is this kanji, but check this out. Look at this. Isn't it similar? Look at this. Nan. Now, if you look at the previous video, the previous subtitles there, it's the same kanji, isn't it? See? Right here. Oops. This is the same kanji, right? Put my head behind so you can see better. That's the same kanji, huh? I'll put my head there. Right? Now, in this case, though, it's not pronounced nan, it's nani, it's pronounced nun. Now, nun is used before a noun, or nan no, well, the usage is slightly different. Now, kore wa nani, what is this? But if you put desu ka at the end of the sentence, it would be kore wa nan desu ka, a little bit more formal. Kore wa nan desu ka? Kore wa nan desu ka? So it's the same question, just a little bit more formal. Nan desu ka? What? Nani? What? You would not say nani desu. Nani desu doesn't make sense. You say nani nan desu ka? What? A little bit more formal. Kore wa nan desu ka? Kore wa nan desu ka? Right? Let me do a little nudge here. Right? Kore wa nan desu ka? Kore wa nan desu ka? What is this? Hey, what is that in your hand over there? Sore wa nan desu ka? What are you holding in your hand there? Sore wa nan desu ka? Hey, see that? What is over there? Far away from both of us? Are wa nan desu ka? Are wa. So here, what's that? It's the same question, just a variation of nan and nani. So the thing you want to remember is that nun and nani are the same, but the usage is slightly different. So just remember that, nan and nani. And the kanji is the same, right? So we will get into that a little bit later. And there's the kanji for those of you studying kanji. Nan or nani, right? Okay, the next word we're going to do today, we're doing question words today, is dare. Dare. Dare would be this kanji here. Dare. Woo. Dare is who. Who. And I'll give you 3 simple sentences with this. Dare. On telephone, you say, dare is a question. Dare? Dare desu ka? Dare desu ka? Here's a simple question. Dare desu ka? Who is this? Now that's of course just a very simple sentence. Dare desu ka? Not the most polite, but it's fine. Dare desu ka? Dare desu ka? Who? Who are you talking about here? Anata wa dare desu ka? Anata, who are you? Who are you? Dare desu ka? Anata wa dare desu ka? Who are you? Now remember that anata is the polite form of you. You could say kimi wa, or omae wa, or teme wa, but remember those are not so polite. Stick with politeness. Anata wa dare desu ka? Unless you know the name. But if you knew the name, you wouldn't ask the question, right? That's a joke. That was not funny. Okay. Kare wa dare desu ka? Who is he? That guy over there. Kare wa dare desu ka? Who is that guy? Kare. He. Kare is he. Now, kare also means boyfriend, which is kind of interesting. Watashi no kare would be my boyfriend. Kanojo or kanojo. Kanojo has also 2 meanings. Girl, her. Who is she? Kanojo wa dare desu ka? Kanojo wa dare desu ka? Who is she? But kanojo is also girlfriend. And notice I'm showing the pinky because the Japanese gesture for girlfriend is pinky. She's my girlfriend. Watashi no kare. I just said my boyfriend. Watashi no kanojo. Ore no kanojo, my girlfriend. Boku no kanojo, my girlfriend. No, at the end, I'll give you a new participle here. No is the possessive. It's like apostrophe S. So if I were to say boku no kanojo, it would mean, right, my girlfriend. Boku no kanojo. Boku no kanojo. And if you were a girl, now boku, look at my video answering questions answering the questions for video number 3, and you'll notice that boku is usually a male form of I, but some girls do use it because there are a lot of tomboys out there. Let's see what else we're doing here. Yeah, boku no kanojo. Okay, let's go on for the question words today. The next set is Doko. That's a good set of questions, right? Doko, and these are the Doko questions. Doko is where. Where. And I'll give you 3 examples of where. Koko wa doko desu ka? Now if you just want to say where, just say doko or doko desu ka? Where? Doko desu ka? Doko? Doko? Where? Koko wa doko desu ka? Where is this place? If you're holding a map, you know, I don't have a map here. If you're holding a map, you say, excuse me, sumimasen. Koko wa doko desu ka? Where is this place? Koko wa doko desu ka? And you know, your Japanese is just starting out, so if you're traveling in Japan, don't be too worried. Just a lot of body gestures. Koko wa doko desu ka? You'll find one of the most frustrating things about coming to Japan is that people will not speak Japanese with you. If they speak a little English, they'll try their best to speak English, even if it's incomprehensible, which is kind of annoying, but that's part of life, right? Because everyone did study English. Ichio, everyone has at least once studied English, but they're not very good in general. So anyway, Koko wa doko desu ka? Where is this place? Uchi wa doko desu ka? Where is your house? Which is very useful if you've just been picked up by a guy in a bar. Or if you're picking up a girl. Or just if you just want to know where someone lives. Uchi is house. Uchi wa doko desu ka? Where is your house? Of course, you could substitute other things here, like kuni wa doko desu ka? Kuni, K-U-N-I, would be where is your country? Kuni wa doko desu ka? Uchi wa doko desu ka? And if you know any place things, like ginko is bank. Ginko wa doko desu ka? So you can just replace anything here for what you're looking for, right? The last word here, party wa doko desu ka? Of course, that's party in Japanese pronunciation. The R is dropped. You don't hear it. Party wa doko desu ka? Where is the party? Party wa doko desu ka? All right, let's go on to the next one. And the next one is itsu. 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 I'll just give you the one word. Itsu. Itsu desu ka? Itsu desu ka? And let's do some simple sentences. And I'll let you kind of interact since you understand the pattern here. Itsu is when. When. Did I say where? When. Itsu. When. Itsu. 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 Now, you can just do your best to make up sentences like, well, let's say, class. Kuras. Well, let's do some easy stuff. Jigyo. Jigyo. Jigyo is... Jigyo. Jigyo is... technical pronunciation jugyo, but most people say jigyo. Jigyo is class. Jigyo wa itsu desu ka? Jigyo wa itsu? Jigyo wa itsu desu ka? When is the class? Itsu wa Jigyo wa itsu desu ka? Now I'll write it out in a way you can understand. Jigyo wa itsu desu ka? See, and you can see jigyo is when is classroom. Okay, here's the pattern, and of course you can just replace anything here for itsu desu ka? When is party wa itsu desu ka? Party wa what's the party? Party wa itsu desu ka? Even if you're not sure how to say it, anything that sounds vaguely understandable works. Hikoki wa itsu desu ka? What time is your plane? What time is your plane? Shuppatsu wa itsu desu ka? What time will you take off? Or what time are you leaving? Right? How about work? Shigoto wa itsu desu ka? What time is work? Right? Itsu desu ka is just the time. How about eiga? What time is the movie? Eiga wa itsu desu ka? Now you can do, of course, more specific if you want to say not the time. Nanji. Nanji. Desu ka? This is the actual word for time, nanji desu ka, but we'll talk about that more later. Nanji desu ka? Eiga wa nanji desu ka? Right? Now, the last thing I want to talk about today is a kind of worms, because there's a difference. There's two ways to say why, and that's doshite and naze. Doshite and naze. Right? And this is the, just a minute here. Doshite and naze. Right? These are the ways we say why. Doshite and naze. Right? Now, it depends on the situation, so I'm not going to talk about too much today, except just to note that you should just try to get them in your brain. Doshite? Why? Why? Naze also means why. Doshite is more like, huh? Why did you do it? Why? How come? You know? How come? Naze is looking more for a reason. Naze? What's the reason? Doshite is more of a confused, but we'll talk about that a little bit more later in the next lesson. What I want to do today is, just for fun, is for those of you who do not know, SpeedyConKiwi, very nice, intelligent, funny, talented, a German girl on YouTube is making videos teaching German, and I thought just for fun, for those of you who, I know a lot of my viewers are following hers, I'm going to do the same thing she's doing and just repeat exactly, because hopefully this will help you connect in your brain, because she's teaching how are you. She did a little conversation in her last video, and I'll put a link over to the side. The first thing she says, and you've learned some of this already, so some of this will be repetitive, but anyway, Genki desu ka? How are you? Genki desu ka? How are you? Right? And she did a conversation, so I'm going to just repeat her conversation in Japanese. If someone says Genki desu ka, right, you're going to want to say, Genki desu yo, I'm fine. Genki desu yo. So the question, Genki desu ka? Hai, Genki desu yo. Genki desu yo. You gotta say Genki Genki, but today we're just going to learn a very simple pattern, right? And then in SpeedyConKiwi's lesson, she asks, what's your name, right? Or how about you? I'm sorry, how about you? So Genki desu ka? Genki desu yo. How about you? And in English, what you want, Japanese, sorry. In Japanese, you want to say, put someone's name here, if you can. So for example, in Kiwi's case, I would say, Kiwi-san wa? How about you? Kiwi, right? Kiwi-san wa? And you want to put san standard, you could put sama, if you want to be formal. Sama, kiwi-sama wa? Genki desu ka? And there's more formal ways, but sama is very formal, so the most standard way is san. Just add san to any name, and it becomes just like a Mr. or a Miss. Genki desu ka? Hai, genki desu. Genki desu yo. You could say genki desu, or genki desu yo, or hai, genki desu, or genki desu yo, in many ways. And then, how about you? Anata wa? Standard, or do the name. Anata wa? Or Kiwi-san wa? Or Michael-san wa, whatever your name is, Eric-san wa. Put the name in there. Okay, the next question, or the next part of the conversation would be, I'm fine, too. Watashi mo genki desu. I'm good too. I'm fine too. I'm good too, or I'm fine too, right? I'm going to keep repeating this conversation. Genki desu ka? Genki desu yo. Anata wa? Or YouTuber-san wa? Watashi mo genki desu. Now you could also put yo at the end. Watashi mo genki desu yo. Right? Now, this is in Kiwi's lesson, but it kind of doesn't make sense in this conversation anymore. We assume we know each other, right? O-namae wa? O-namae wa? O-namae, what's your name? Now, to be a little more formal, you could say O-namae wa nan desu ka? O-namae wa nan desu ka? What is your name? Now, notice the O here. O at the beginning. O is formal, honorific O, and O is also added to many words just to make them more noble. I'm not going to talk about that too much today, but just if you do hear it, sometimes you can just, oh, that must be the O. You know, it sounds like a word you know, but there's an O in front of it. There's two honorifics. One is O and one is Go. And anyway, this is just the honorific O. Let's go on. The next part of the conversation is Doko no hito desu ka? Doko no hito desu ka? Where are you from? Where are you from? This is all, I'm just following Kiwi's pattern just so we can try to connect in your brain for those of you following both lessons. Doko no hito desu ka? Where are you from? Actually, literally this means where, person, question, right? Where person are you, right? Doko no hito, from what place are you? Doko no hito, from what place are you? Doko no hito desu ka? And then you would say, you know, America jin desu, like we did in the last lesson, or Canada jin desu, or Deutsch jin desu, right? The other part of the lesson that's connected to Kiwi's lesson today is how to say yes. And in Japanese, hai, or so desu. So desu agrees with the previous sentence. So there's a couple of affirmatives. Hai, this is yes. Like also, hai, hai, if you're, you know, someone calls you, hai, yes, do you called me, kind of thing. Or, but if you're agreeing with someone, hai. Oh, and you can do combinations like together. Hai, so desu. Yes, that is right. So desu is more like, this is correct. So refers to the previous sentence. What you said was correct. Hai, so desu. And the last part of the conversation today, or the last part of the lesson today, is how to say no in Japanese. And the answer is iie. Iie. No. Now you could also, if you want to say that is incorrect, you would say chigaimasu. Chigaimasu. Chigaimasu is a very interesting word. It means incorrect. The funny thing culturally about Japanese is that the word for different and wrong are the same. And that's why often people criticize that. Isn't it interesting that in Japan, you know, culturally, being different is wrong? And I suppose, yes, it is interesting. I wouldn't put too much thought into it. We don't want to start criticizing the whole culture just because of the way the language is set up. So anyway, but it's good to know that chigaimasu is wrong. The last word today, did I say the last word before? This is really the last word, is tabun. Tabun, which is maybe. Now tabun, I think in Japanese is more like a, I think they think maybe is 70%. I forgot which one. But anyway, be careful when people say tabun. It doesn't really mean 50%. It often means no. It really depends on the context. Japanese are infamous for not coming out straight and saying what they want to say. But anyway, okay, that's today's lesson again. I'm making these a little bit longer, and I'm going to try to put them out a little like this way, and not worry too much about the editing because, you know, apparently 1,000 to 2,000 people are watching these videos, so you are interested in so I really do appreciate the comments. Be sure to leave me a comment, even if you don't have anything to say. I'll tell you, you know what you can say, just to see who watched this far. Write tanoshikatta. This is a good lesson. Tanoshikatta. Tanoshikatta means I enjoyed it. Tanoshikatta. Okay? Tanoshikatta. I enjoyed it. So if you got to this part, if you got this far in the lesson, just write tanoshikatta. And if you want to be polite with me, you can say desu. Tanoshikatta desu. It was enjoyable. Tanoshikatta desu. Thanks a lot for watching, guys, and I'll talk to you soon.